glasses, wearing spike heel shoes. They smoking lucky strikes and wearing nylons. Go be back nationwide. Yeah, we back nationwide. Well, I was moving down the road in my BA4. I had a shine on my boots, I had my sideburns low. With my New York brim and my gold tooth display. Nobody give me trouble, cause they know I got it made. I'm back, I'm nationwide. Well, I'm bad, 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 bad. I'm nationwide. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Nicole. All right. Little ZZ top going there and everything. Getting the hair right. I'm growing my hair out, so I'm having to adjust it. I love servicemen. I love servicewomen too. You know, people that charge, into the breach, for us while we're sleeping without second thought. Those who keep the watch. War is always an unpopular decision. And when it drags on, it becomes more unpopular. You know, but soldiers who wage it are but the instruments of the political will, not the directors. The way it's supposed to work is some foreign nation will attack America, and our armed forces repel that action. The president and the Congress, the president and the Congress are supposed to reflect the will of the people, but sadly that's not the case lately. I vividly remember the Vietnam War, and the ire against it turned onto our returning troops. Part of the North Vietnamese strategy was to sow discontent among the American people, a plan in which some fell into the position in lockstep, like Jane Fonda, Don Sutherland, and yes, John Kerry, all marching to the Vietnamese drum. The political winds that were blowing had indeed driven us into a war of no purpose. History has proven that little nation in Asia made absolutely no difference at all to the world stage. Eventually, they got a unified country, and we got a wall. The soldiers came home, and the war was over, but there were no parades. There was no flags. There was no VE Day. Just broken men and women trying to forget. Politics did that to them, not the war. When you go far from home to fight, you simply have to have a reason to do so. With the horror of war, you must know in your heart that there is a reason for it. You have a right to expect upon coming home that the memories of this will be silenced by the applause at the airport. You do not expect to get spit upon. You do not expect the ghost to still be there 40 years later. America has made an industry of protecting the freedom of other nations. Again, politics plays the role, not the will of the people. Politicians invent and arm entities such as Al Qaeda, and then they stand back in snake amazement when the mad dog that they fed bites us. And their reasoning: Russia might take over the world. History has shown that Russia did good just taking over Russia. Their weak hold went away like cotton candy when they tried to match the American dollar for ruble in the Cold War. When the Twin Towers went down and we rushed to seek the perpetrators, well, it wasn't that hard to figure out who in effect it was, because we basically had bought the plane tickets. The politicians and their lapdogs in the CIA had unleashed that terror, and the very word terror became a catchphrase in order to get the American people to sell their freedom, shed the Constitution, and allow our soldiers to charge off after a crazy old man on a walking stick because, yet again, someone might take over the world. Do you want to know what the Trump phenomenon really is? Well, I'm going to tell you. It is the outrage of the American people at the political wasteland they've had to endure for the last 50 years. It's the arrogance of people like Hillary Clinton, who point to a successful American businessman and claim he isn't savvy enough to direct a ship of state, because that ship of state has been floundering for so long that only the most consummate liar can even hope to guide it. The very idea that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people is so far beyond the people's understanding. Our only hope is this ruling class, this Illuminati, this new royalty. That's the reason Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. The American people are taking over the White House. And if we ever have a just war in the future, there will be applause at the airport. I love American servicemen and women. Well, welcome. Hello, Nicole. I've seen you there. Hey, buddy. Everything. I'm going to touch on several subjects tonight and do a little half-hour show. That's the main subject. I really didn't write a Memorial Day thing yesterday. I was working on Centerville. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. And I got up this morning and I saw a Budweiser commercial, of all things, where the people were standing up in the airport and applauding as the soldiers and ladies came in. And having gone through the Vietnam era, that touched me, and I wrote the article about 4:30 this morning. It's one of my 18-hour days going, but I had a nap, so I'm good. The whole Trump thing is basically one of us is going to get in the White House. That's what's going to happen. Hillary is losing ground by leaps and bounds. Trump literally can't say anything wrong. Everything he says resounds through the public ears, and there's a reason for that. He is talking in their language. There's a reason that the people are so receptive. Yesterday, he went to Rolling Thunder for Memorial Day in Washington, and he said when he asked his people, he said, "Why do all these bikers always show up at my rallies?" And they said, "Because they're protecting you, Mr. Trump." I want you to consider the people that are against Donald Trump, the riots, the fights, the slick stuff under the table, all this, even Hillary, they are terrified of Donald Trump. They are terrified of him because they're about to meet an American. They're about to meet an American. And that's really what's going to happen. This is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. And he might be Hitler. I don't know. He might be. But things are going to change. Times, they are a-changing, okay? Now, second subject of tonight, okay? The second, oh, excuse me, wait. By the way, I actually like the flavor of this stuff. But this is a beer you drink. If you drink this, you're destined to die poor and everything. But I want y'all to know I have good values. I have good values. Uh, and I like beer and I like to drink beer. But if I ever come in my house and my grandchildren don't have anything to eat, well, they can have a beer. Okay. Anyway, the second subject of the night is a little monkey business. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. The gorilla that got himself shot up in, I think, Cincinnati. And I'm of two minds on this. One mind, my friend Casey Nunez in New Orleans is a big animal advocate, kind, big, giant gentleman. He was a pro wrestler, very, very civically active. Been a friend of mine for, I guess, it's coming up on 10 years now. He was one of the advisors to me and Jackie during our little thing in 2007. And he thought it was unnecessary to shoot the gorilla. Well, like I said, I'm of two minds. I've watched, I guess, about 2 or 3 hours of gorilla interaction with children, especially a 1986 and a 1996 incident where in both cases the gorilla actually protected, the one gorilla even delivered the injured child to a door so the zookeepers could take possession. I think it was panic. I've watched the film several times. The ape in question was astounded when the child fell in and rushed over to it. He ended up putting his knuckles on the ground and hovering over the child, protecting, the child from the other people. But then the people started screaming, and you must understand when gorillas scream and make loud noises, they attack. So he didn't know what was coming over the wall. He didn't assault the child per se. He grabbed the child like he would grab a small ape and hurriedly took it to what he thought was a protected corner, whereupon he assumed the position again of knuckles on the ground and hovering over the child. Now, that having been said, it was a 450-pound gorilla, and it was a split-second decision. If at any moment, just his normal movements might have harmed the child greatly, towing him around like that, stuff like that. It was a sad, sad day. And I understand that this particular ape was a bit of a celebrity. He posed for the cameras. He had a running joke where he would run up and throw water on the people visiting the zoo, and then he'd flip them the finger as he retreated back over to his area. So it was very sad. If anything could be funny at this, naturally Black Lives Matter got in, and it said it was a demonstration of white privilege because this gorilla was shot. Now, I don't want to get racial about this. I'm a simple old boy from Austin, but I think it's particularly amusing that Black Lives Matter identifies with an ape. Okay? Hey, they said it, I didn't say. I'm just like Will Rogers. I don't make jokes. I just read the papers and report the facts. Okay? So enough for that. The other things that come up this week, like I said, Memorial Day and the ape and all that kind of stuff. I'm working on a book called Centerville, or it's going to be a short story. It's going to be a short story, actually. It started out to be a book, but I simply don't know enough about police work to fill up the pages, and I'm not going to write a dull book. So instead, I'm going to compact it, and I'm changing the plot a little, because I was having an overtired bounty hunter hunt down a serial killer, and I was having to fill in the lines and the blanks and everything. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm taking it slow. The reader is almost immediately going to identify the killer, and the fun of the book is going to be, the bounty hunter's name is Menjang, and the fun of the book is going to be, as the local deputy sheriffs run through all these rabbit trails, he's the only one that's on the trail, the only hope of the town, tracking this guy down. And he's also the prime suspect. Okay, so that's going to help out a little bit there. Other than that, I'm still putting together a thing called Peel the Onion, but I've talked with Crystal Lee Larimore. I've got this thing where I will bang out a story, a book, an article, whatever. I'm known for banging stuff out fast. I did do an article today, and I did publish and everything, but I'm going to start banging out number one hits instead of just filling up. I'm going to start working on things a little bit more. it's going to slow me down a little bit, but what you see coming out is going to be a bunch better, a whole bunch better. Um, I'm going to be as all plans right now, I'm going to be in Wichita Falls on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to drive up the night before, and I'm going to stay in a hotel. And I'm going to go up to Wichita Falls, and hopefully, well, I understand I'm going to give about a 3-minute speech uh, for the patriots up there against the Bureau of Land Management. And now that opens up a whole new can of worms. The Bureau of Land Management. Okay, where did that come from? Where did we suddenly get the government going out um, assigning itself land and taking it away from farmers and ranchers, shooting people on the side of the road, little things like that? Um, this has gotten totally out of control. This has gotten totally out of control, and it's going to take the people to bring it back. Now, they use an intimidation process. You ever notice how they had big letters on the back of their jackets? Police, FBI, uh, BLM, all that, all that. Well, that's called intimidation. All right. But I'm going to tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. These are just guys. They're just men. Okay? That's all. And there's more people than there are men. These guys can't take over anything, and the people are going to be the ones that end up winning. That goes right back to Donald Trump. Right back to Donald Trump. I don't care what his politics are. I don't care how pretty his daughter is. I don't care how many times his wife posed naked. I don't care. A civilian is fixing to go into the White House. That's the only thing you have to remember. A civilian. What I said in that opening bit is exactly true, and I was trying to articulate it. American politics has gotten to the point where most people accept that you have to be a professional politician if you're going to be in government. There's a certain protocol, there's a certain language, certain English, all this, certain things you have to do. And the very idea that an American businessman, could occupy the White House and make decisions. They say Obama's, and I think John F. Kennedy's daughter Caroline said that the world the world leaders are terrified of Donald Trump. They're terrified of him. Well, yeah. They're terrified of him because he's about to build that wall, cut off the cartels. He's about to bring a lot of industry back to the United States, bring a lot of jobs back to the United States. He's about to put the power brokers on notice because he don't need them. See, he don't need them. He's going to take $1 a year in salary. What does this man need? What does he need? That does the Illuminati. Oh, I'm reconnect. I got a weak connection, fellas. So we're going to get through this last 10 minutes, hopefully. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Now, I'm sitting on top of my modem. If I was a paranoid like a lot of conspiracy theorists, I would swear the NSA was cutting me off, but they're not. I'm not that important. I will be. I get this best-selling book out and a few articles and everything. Ooh, you let me get some money, I can be a prick. I took prick classes in Nashville, okay? But anyway, that's what they're afraid of with Donald Trump. And this political correctness that we have, this political correctness. Um, I'm not going to get into who marries who or anything like that. I don't care. I once met with the Gay Alliance, and we sat across the table, and some guy was with the Gay Alliance, and we had a little discussion right away. He goes, well, you just find gay sex repulsive. No, I find all sex repulsive unless I'm the one doing it. Okay? I also don't like to watch people take a crap. There's just certain protocols that I follow. But I'm, simple-minded and things like that. Just don't bother me. But the Black Lives Matter, the assault on the police, and the police screw up. I catch them all the time and everything. But when I personally have an interaction with the police, I don't have any problem. I know, but and that in itself is yet another symptom of what's happened to our society. The old days when you would get pulled over by a police officer, back in my day, you immediately got out of the car reaching for your wallet. That was a courtesy to the police officer. He got to sit in his car, and hopefully, and it's self-serving. It's self-serving. If I walk up to his car, give him my driver's license and everything, and I'm real nice, maybe I'll get a warning. Now, when you get stopped, stick your hands out the window. And they come up and may I see your driver's license? And are you carrying any weapons? And all that kind of stuff. And you can't really argue because right behind that is taser, 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 and then you end up on YouTube. You know, the world is a more dangerous place. It's a more dangerous place, and we're heading down a dangerous path. Hopefully, a new administration will change that. Not Hillary. Not Hillary. Okay. Have you seen Bill lately? I've seen a picture of Bill Clinton today. He looks like he's eaten up with a clap. There is a God. See, there is a God, but you don't want to turn. I don't care how liberal you are. I don't care how democratic you are. You don't want that in the White House. You really don't. Not just because of her track record. Take a look at her track record. This woman has never accomplished anything. You want to have some fun? Go on YouTube and put in search Hillary drunk debate, and you'll get to see her slurring her words and talking about how she helping children. Stone lush. Stone lush. Okay? Now, you can say what you want about Donald. You've never seen him drunk on stage because he don't drink. And if he did drink, he wouldn't drink on stage. Okay? The only time she ever run a successful business is when she and her daughter, Chastity, that's a joke, I know her name's Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea and Bill, they all got together, and they figured a way to sell uranium to the Russians and everything else for their Clinton Foundation. It's accurately named. It was a foundation solely for the Clintons, and it lined their pockets. Built nice places in places like Long Island and Florida and all that kind of stuff. But she shouldn't be president. Not at all, not at all, not at all. Times are going to be changing. Times are going to be a-changing. And when they do change, it's going to be bad. And we all get to watch Whoopi Goldberg move out of the country. Now, she said she's going to do it, and she's a woman of her word. And I believe that. So I want to see when Donald raises his hand and say, I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, I expect to hear that plane taking off from JFK heading for Montreal. I expect it. Now, Whoopi, I know you're not going to watch this, but if you do, you're on notice. You're on notice. And I know at least 2 to 4 million Texas Patriots would be glad to chip in, buy you that ticket. Okay. And on a final note, Chelsea Clinton, as a matter of fact, let me get something here. Let me show y'all something. Chelsea Clinton said something about doing away with the Bible and guns culture in this country. Well, let me tell you a little secret, okay? On the other side of Bibles and guns is Islam and guns, okay? They totally believe in that. They totally believe in that. The American culture, especially the Texan culture, was founded on private property, God, and the right to protect yourself, your family, and private property. So I'm going to show y'all something. This here is basically America in a nutshell, right there. That's it. You got this, and you got this, then you're not going to have any problem with them people in them burqas. You're going to have everything's going to be a little bit better. So, at any rate, I'm going to conclude. And Nicole Credit, thank you for joining. I'm going to go out and pass this thing up to all my outlets and everything, so anybody that's missed it. And I do see on these live feeds, I do understand you have lives, and I picked 6 o'clock tonight because I just had this idea. But I'll put it up where you can watch it and review it and everything. Fuss at me a little bit, and I'll always do that. And I'm going to go over to a place called Friends, maybe later tonight if I feel like it. And I'm going to do a real, they got a live feed over there that's dynamite, but I'm going to try them out and see what's going on. Mainly I'm going to be here. Tomorrow I go back to work on Centerville. I'm getting ready for Saturday. I got to make hotel arrangements so I don't have to sleep under a bridge or a bar. And I'm going to get up there and give a little speech. I hope to see everybody up there. The bigger crowd we have, the better it's going to be. BLM's trying to steal some more land. And we don't need that. We need the land to stay with the ranchers so we can keep eating steak. I'm not against fracking for oil, but I am against running Texans off their land for some Yankee devised bunch of crap that dry up the Red River. Anyway, y'all have a good day, and I will see you next time I come up with another idea, and I'll go ahead and put this up on all your sites and everything. God bless, and y'all be good.